Welcome to Expedition Sea Nest. Join us this week as we visit Marco Island and have our autopilot installed. We then travel through the Florida Everglades with a small detour and head for the Florida Keys. We arrived in Florida and headed straight for Rose Marina on Marco Island. There's no launch ramp at the marina, so we had to launch at the public ramp just as you come onto the island. I drove the truck and trailer back to the marina, and Michael drove the boat over to the dock. It's a small marina, but it's clean and modern. We met with our technician several days later, and the installation for the autopilot took 2 days, including the sea trial and the tutorial. We found this company to be thorough and professional, and would definitely use them again.
Yeah.
Most people like having their dedicated chart plotter.
Yeah.
That way you have this control head to control the functions of the autopilot, so you can engage it. So when you hit engage, it's going to do your current course. So we're at 217 now.
Okay.
So you would hit standby, and then you can then take the wheel and drive.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to be fighting, essentially.
Right.
You'll be turning left, the autopilot will try to turn you right. Most of the time you will use go to. That will be your point to point.
Yeah.
So if you hit go to, it'll ask you, would you like to engage the autopilot?
Right.
So you can do it via your small GHC 50 or from the chart plotter. Most people just like the chart plotter. So when you hit engage, it's actually going to chart your course now.
Oh, wow.
So alrighty. So we're currently following a course at the moment just towards the bridge, but in this scenario we had just a minute or two ago, we had a vessel.
Right.
So I'm going to dodge us again to the right because we have a vessel ahead of us.
Yeah.
So now your desired heading is 307. The rudder is going to turn.
Yeah.
It's going to aim for that 307 again.
Right.
So what is the vessel's planing speed? We can test it right now if you don't know it.
Yeah.
We're just going to go through the sea trial wizard.
Okay, should I just open it up right to the bridge?
Yeah, it's 100 yards from the bridge is when you have to slow down, but
Okay.
All right,
kind of
you ready?
keep an eye on the GPS.
Stephen, thanks a lot for your help.
No
That was
problem.
Fantastic.
You're going to love it.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys did a great job. You guys were here on time. You had all the parts, and you guys were really conscientious about the way the boat was cleaned up afterwards, and that was great. Yeah.
Very
Yeah. Thanks again.
And then SeaTech.
Yeah, SeaTech Marine Electronics. We're out of Naples, Florida, but we are a mobile company. We go all the way down to the Everglades up to Cape Coral, so we have like 100-mile range-ish.
Yeah.
We just don't work on the East Coast.
Right.
So.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, you guys take care of entertainment systems, autopilot, radar. What else do you guys do?
We do water makers.
Yeah.
We do refits. We'll take all your old electronics out. We'll install all new ones. We'll see if they're cross-compatible, so that way you don't have to buy all new equipment.
Yeah.
Do stereos, you name it, with marine electronics. We do it. Just no motors.
Yeah.
Besides Fisher Panda generators. That's what we work on as well.
Wonderful. Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Nice
Appreciate
meeting
it.
you.
Yeah.
Have fun in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And we were good to go. We hauled the boat back out and trailered it down to the Florida Keys. The Tamiami Trail, or Highway 41, connects Tampa to Miami, and it was built early in the 20th century. It officially opened for use in 1928. This roadway was an engineering feat that cut through swamps and limestone, creating a passage through Florida from east to west. As handy as it was for the industrialized world, this roadway, as well as the diversion of waterways from Lake Okeechobee, had a devastating effect on the Florida Everglades. So we're taking a little break along the Tamiami Trail, and we stopped at the Kirby Storter Trail, which is a really cool little nature boardwalk that runs through the Everglades. And Michael's doing some photography, and I'm just following behind with the GoPro.
It's alive with little warblers.
What's really cool is that they even built this place for us. That you've got the highway,
Yeah, it's right
the
there.
Tamiami Trail running parallel to here, and that someone took the time to preserve, well, the state of Florida took the time to preserve this and make a beautiful boardwalk so that we can have this experience of what the river of grass feels like.
It's almost continual birds going back and forth.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful wetland. It was nice to have a break and stretch our legs and get a little slice of the Everglades.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. The River of Grass in the Everglades is an incredibly unique ecosystem full of toothy sawgrass and nurtured by a slow-moving river 40 miles wide and over 100 miles long. The abundant grass becomes so thick in parts that it has earned the Everglades the nickname the River of Grass. Sadly, though, 70% of its natural water flow has been disrupted, causing a host of water quality problems. But work is being done to mitigate the damage and regenerate the ecological health of the entire Everglades ecosystem. Just as an aside, if you ever have the time, there is an access point just off of Highway 41 to the Turner River. An amazing paddle can be done by canoe or kayak for a few hours, or a whole day paddle starting at the Turner River and ending up in Chokoloskee. River water levels and tides fluctuate, so check before you go. It is a magical trip that meanders through mangrove tunnels and diverse ecosystems that are home to so much wildlife and flora. It's an example of what Florida used to look like and why it is so important to save and protect this unique environmental treasure.
Pretty.
Well done. And look at that
He's got a little blue dot on his tail there. You see that?
it's hard to see in the bright light. Way to go, honey.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Who's that guy? Right? He's slobbing. Julian noticed we were sleeping, and we heard the forward bilge cycle. You know, every 15 seconds or every, I don't know what it is. Every minute or something like that, it cycles for like just that's the kind of sound it makes. But we never heard it back here in this bilge pump. So this is a Rule automatic bilge pump. All right, but it's not automatic. And when I first pulled it out, I was considering replacing it with or leaving this pump on, but replacing it, putting on just a switch, just an automatic bilge pump switch, and that was the plan. And for me to do that, I would have to cut the wires and connect them to the float switch. That's what it is. It's called the float switch. So I was pulling the wires out of here, and I noticed that the connectors on here, especially here's the one I just cut off and redid. Here's the one I just redid. Look at that. That's all full of corrosion. And that's why it wasn't cycling. It wasn't getting any power to that. So I believe this one is goes directly to the battery. I think. And this is obviously why. Whoa.
And then it just goes on.
And then now it goes on. Now it's working. Now look at this. Let's see how far down it goes. But it's taking a while. So we redid it again, and now it's kicking on, but it's taking like a minute before it kicks on, and we're not sure if this is normal. But look at the way it's blowing out of here now. That's really good. I think it's working differently now. So what we did...
There also was a bit of a plug in it, right?
Oh, this is really working well now. Look at this.
Good. It's completely
There,
empty.
it goes off.
Yeah.
All right, so that worked well that time. All right, but it's been sitting in that water for a while, but I'll tell you what we did is it wasn't working. After I reconnected it, it wasn't working. And so we thought, well, how does it know when to come on? And I think these little holes through here allow the water to come through, and then it kicks on. Well, I took my needle nose and I pulled some hair out of here, probably Julia's hair. She loses hair like crazy, so I pulled that out of there. The other hole was clear, but I don't know. So what I did, I just took some spray 9 and I sprayed it in the holes, and then I blew it out and tried it again, and it just kicked on. So it's cleared. Maybe it was some kind of an oil film or something that was on it, because the guy who installed our autopilot, he had a leak, and it went down in here, and it might have been in here, and it's kind of coated that thing. So that might have been the problem. I don't know. But then, so I replaced, of course, I put a new connector on there, so everything's dandy. Now I look at this one here. If you look at this, look at the corrosion coming in there now. You see that? See that green? So this one, and this is very dark. That cable, that wire should not be that dark. That's saying there's definitely some corrosion happening in here. So we have to replace this one too. Now this one looks good. So when you put on these waterproof connectors, you know, it comes with a shrink sleeve on it, and they work well. But what you have to, where's that box with our shrink sleeves? Oh, okay, right here. So, you know, you get different sizes. You know, you can get them in the big yellows here, you know, which is for like big gauge wires, you know, and here's one for here's a blue one, and then there's the little pink ones. And the pink ones, you want something that fits as tight as possible because you want a good connection. So I found that the pink one worked well for in here, and I'm gonna replace this one. Now when you put these things on, you see, I don't know if you can see that, you see there's when you heat this, you can do it with a match flame. I typically like to do it with the actual heat gun because you don't get this burn look to it, and I think it's even more even. But you see this kind of it's almost like a glue. Oh, yeah. I'll take it out of there.
It's like the little water
Did
gun
that get you?
No, it just missed me.
Oh, geez.
You see where it hit right beside me.
Okay, so I don't know if you can see where that stuff. You have to make sure that the stuff from the shrink sleeve oozes out all around it, because that's telling you it's perfectly sealed. And when you crimp it, you got to have the proper crimpers. You don't do it with a pair of vice grips or something, because if you damage this outer coating, the salt water is going to seep in here and cause the corrosion. So these are great. These are a great pair. These don't damage them. I either use, for the big ones I use here, or I use in here. For the pink ones I use this area, but it's not sharp. I can't damage it.
Michael finally got the bilge pump working smoothly. And now we're on to our next project, which is provisioning the boat for the next 3 months in the Bahamas.